Right now, somewhere, there are three quotes on a kitchen table. One says about $400. One says a few thousand. One climbs past 12,000. Three systems, three prices, and every one of those numbers is lying to you. Not the price. The price is real. They are lying because not one of them is the 10-year number. And over 10 years, the gap between the cheapest way to cool your house and the priciest one can top $20,000 on the very same house. Same square footage, same summers, different path. I spent 25 years pricing all three of these for other people's houses, and I never once got to sit down and say out loud which one I would put in my own. Tonight, I do. And that efficiency number everyone points at on the quote? It quietly changed a few years back. The test behind it got stricter, so a unit that reads 16 today is the same machine that would have read closer to 17 before. Nothing got worse, the ruler just got honest. Your contractor knows that. He is counting on you not to. But the rating is the small thing. There is one condition inside your own house that flips this whole decision, and it is printed on none of those three quotes. Stay with me, and you will know exactly what it is. Start with the cheapest thing on the table, the window unit. Everybody's first apartment had one rattling in the frame, so your gut says cheap. And your gut is half right. A good inverter window unit, the quiet kind that ramps up and down instead of slamming on and off, runs you a few $100s and uses very little power. Put one or two of them in the rooms you actually live in, and over 10 years you are looking at somewhere between $2,000 and $6,000 all in. That is the cheapest cooling on this entire list, and I am not going to pretend otherwise. Here is where it turns on you. The second you try to cool a whole house with them, 4 of them, one in every room, the math quietly changes sides. These units last about 8 to 10 years, so somewhere in the middle of that decade, you are buying most of them a second time. Add the power for 4 of them running all summer, and a whole house of window units creeps up near $9,000, $10,000, even $13,000 over the 10 years. All of a sudden, the cheap option is not cheap. And there is a column nobody puts on the whiteboard. Heat. A window unit does nothing for you in January. It just sits there half the year, doing nothing. Hold that thought because it matters more than it looks in about 2 minutes. Second system, the mini split. This is the one the whole internet swears will save you $12,000, and you have seen that number because it is everywhere. And I will tell you straight, the machine is real. No ductwork, one quiet box on the wall, a compressor that idles up and down like cruise control instead of slamming full on and full off. It is the most efficient way to move heat that money can buy. I am not going to argue with that because it is true. Quick word while we are here. Just about everything I have learned in 25 years, the math, the questions to ask, the traps to sidestep, I put in plain writing in a short playbook over at raydutton.com. Grab it if you want it. It is there. No pressure. All right, back to it. Now, that $12,000 is not a price. It is a savings claim, and I know how those get built because I watched it for a living. You take a brand new mini split, run it against a 15-year-old central unit that is already half dead, put it where power rates are the highest in the country, and count only the electric bill. Rig it that hard and anything looks like a miracle. Run it honest instead, a normal 3-bedroom house at normal rates, and a 4-zone mini-split runs $8,000 to $15,000 to put in, closer to 18 or 20 over 10 years. That is the same as central air, or more, not less. The savings they quote were never yours to begin with. But now remember that heat column. A mini-split is not just an air conditioner, it heats too. So for one stubborn room the central system never quite reaches, a converted garage, a bonus room, an addition, A single mini-split can beat a window unit even when the cooling math is a tie, because you get your winter heat out of the very same box. That is the honest case for one of them, just not 4 of them at full retail price. Third system, central air, the default. 1 unit outside, ductwork already buried in the walls, 1 thermostat, and the option most contractors push before they have even finished walking through your front door. On a house that already has decent ducts, central runs around $7,000 or $8,000 to put in, and over 10 years, all in, call it somewhere in the low to middle teens. And honestly, it is the lowest hassle of the 3. 1 system, 1 thermostat, done. But central carries a quiet tax, and this is the part they never itemize. Your ducts leak. That is not an insult, it is just physics. Somewhere between 20 and 30% of the cool air your system makes escapes through gaps and loose joints up in the attic before it ever reaches a single room. You are paying, every single month, to air condition your attic. So if central leaks 1/3 of what you pay for, why does it still win most of the installs in this country? 2 reasons. The first one is simple and fair. Most homes were already built with the ducts in them, so it is the easy default. The second reason is the one nobody says out loud. A full central system is where the manufacturer rebates, the dealer bonuses, and the program money all stack the highest. I am not telling you there is a conspiracy. I am telling you the profit quietly points toward 1 system, and it is not always the one that is best for you. Which brings us to the thing I have been holding back since the start. That one condition in your house that flips this whole decision. It is not the brand. It is not the efficiency number. It is your ductwork. If your home has solid, sealed ducts, and you actually use most of your rooms, central air wins the 10-year math, clean, and every dollar of that online mini-split savings just evaporates. But if your house has no usable ducts, or the ones it has are old and leaking in a hot attic, then fixing or adding that ductwork drops another $3,000 to $10,000 onto the central quote before the unit is even hung on the wall. And the second that happens, the mini-split wins by thousands. Same house, same person. The only thing that changed was the condition of the metal up in the attic. And here is the part I love. You do not need a contractor to tell you which camp you are in. On the next hot day, with the system running, walk to the room farthest from the unit, put your hand flat on the vent, and feel how hard the air is actually pushing. Weak, warm, barely moving in the far rooms usually means the ducts are losing your air on the way there. Then take 5 minutes and look at the ducts you can actually see, in the attic or down in the basement. Crushed, pulled apart at a joint, wrapped in nothing. That is your money leaking out before it ever reaches you. Now you know which side of the line your house is on, and you knew it before anybody handed you a quote. You can push the mini-split even further ahead of central, too. Put one in yourself, and there are kits built for exactly that now, with the lines already charged so you never touch any refrigerant, and you cut $2,000 to $5,000 of labor out of the job. Do that, and a mini-split beats central even when your ducts are perfectly good. And one thing genuinely changed this year, worth knowing before you sign anything: a quiet timing trap. There used to be a federal tax break worth up to $2,000 toward a high-efficiency system, and it ended at the end of last year. The rule was the system had to be installed and running before the deadline, not just ordered, not just paid for. So if a salesman is still waving that credit around on a quote in front of you today, that tells you something. He is either behind or he is hoping you are. So here is what to do before you sign anything at all. 2 questions. First, ask him flat out what condition your ducts are in and make him show you, not just tell you. Second, tell him to itemize the quote, equipment on one line, labor on another, ductwork on a third. If he eyeballed your whole house from the driveway, or he will not break that number into pieces, then you already have your answer about whose savings he is really protecting, and it is not yours. So, who buys what? Rent, or cooling just a room or two, or short summers, and window units are the cheapest cash you will ever spend, and the ugliest thing in the room. One stubborn room the ducts never reach, and you want heat out there too. That is the one clean job for a single mini-split. And for the whole house, you already know the rule now. Good ducts, go central. Bad ducts, high rates, or you will do the work yourself, go mini-split. And yes, I just spent this whole video telling you the cheapest option is the one almost nobody wants to look at. I stand by it. The number on that quote was never the real number. The real number is the 10-year number, the one they were quietly betting you would never sit down and add up for yourself. Well, now you can. I read every comment on these, so 2 questions for you. Which system is cooling your house right now, and after tonight, did it change what you were going to do on your next quote? Tell me down below. I go through them. And if this saved you from signing the wrong quote, do yourself a favor and subscribe, because the next one is about the checks you can run yourself in your own house before any of these systems ever needs to see a technician. I'm Ray Dutton. Keep your cool, and I'll see you in the next one.